What's up? What's up, basketball world, hoop heads? Welcome to another episode of Undrafted Hoops. Tonight we are going to tackle another team on our off-season block party. We've covered 12 teams so far throughout the NBA, last night being the Lakers. So if you haven't watched any of our shows before, make sure you go right to our YouTube page, hit subscribe, Undrafted Hoops. You can see we've covered 12 teams so far. Tonight we're going to jump on the Atlanta Hawks. But before I do so, got to throw it out there. Facebook, Twitter, at Undrafted Hoops _ on Twitter. That's where you're going to follow us. That's where we got our start. We drop daily content every single day, breaking news. We have great debates on some of your favorite players and where they might stack up in the history of the game. So make sure you check us out on both of them. Twitter was booming today. We probably put on 100 new followers. And if you're watching this show for the first time, I want to say I appreciate your support, and I hope we can entertain you when it comes to NBA chatter. Also, YouTube, mentioned it first. Subscribe, please. Smash the subscribe button for us. And also, you're going to see us featured on the Hardcore Sports Network. They're also on YouTube. They give us a great platform, and I want to make sure I return the favor and say, if you're into other sports other than basketball, football, baseball, wrestling, diehard Eagles group, make sure you jump on Hardcore Sports Network. They're doing good things over there. So let's jump right in. We're going to jump right into the Atlanta Hawks, but first I got some guests tonight. The Mad Wizard himself makes his return to the ring. Gary H. in the building.
What's up, my man? How you doing?
Good, man. Nice to have you back, man.
Yes, sir. Glad to be back.
You look happier than Jordan Poole looked.
Man, they just choose when they take them pictures, man. Jordan Poole was looking happier in other moments.
I've been sitting on that joke for like 4 days now, bro. I couldn't wait to get you on screen.
Did you see the video when they asked him if Draymond's giving him a call yet?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, I'll show it to you later. You'll love that
I think
one.
you sent it to me, but I've been in the mix today, so
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Also, let's get on Sasquatch of Hoops himself, Tony Hoops. I don't know if I can get off the Sasquatch. Tony Hoops sounds so good.
Yeah, I mean, both are good, but I mean,
We'll see
I'm a legend, so I got multiple nicknames. No, I'm just I'm effing around.
Oh, you hear that, Gary? He's a legend. I didn't get the memo. I didn't see it on Undrafted Hoops.
Man, you got to trim that beard down, man. Join the squad.
Nah, don't do it.
Take it off, Tony.
Now look at that thing. You could host a basketball invitational. The NBA Cup will be played on Tony's beard next year.
Maybe.
So look, let's jump right in. We've been feeling out a lot of the West teams. It feels like it seems like they've gathered a lot of our attention. Western Conference, the NBA championship came out of the Western Conference, so it's an important one to cover. But we switch it up. We go over to Eastern Conference today, and we're going to talk about the Hawks, who were a play-in team last year. They beat Miami. Congratulations. They got into the, I think they were the 7 seed, right?
Yep.
7 seed. And they surprised a lot of teams with the win at Miami. And not surprising to me. Gary, I want to start with you since I brought you on first. I want you to tell me, is the team in a better position now under Quin Snyder? Because that was a major move for them last year than they were under Nate McMillan. And do you see the strong finish to the season starting to build something in the start of the regular season?
I mean, based off of what their records were, they let Nate McMillan coach about 60 games. He went about 500, 29 and 30. Then they had the interim coach only for 2 games. They made a quick hire, bringing on Quin. And in his 21 games, he went 10 and 11. So he went a game under 500. Nate McMillan went a game under 500. It was basically the same. But at the same time, it's a small sample size. He doesn't get an offseason to implement his system. But I also feel like they lost talent by getting rid of Collins. So it's almost like I don't know if they're going to be better. I think that, they're going to be right around the same, maybe a little worse.
Yeah, I was the biggest thing with the Collins trade. Like, yes, I know they've been fishing him around for a while, but I thought the return would have been a little bit better. I thought they could have at least tried to get a rotational guy, even like a rotational guy, something that would improve the roster. Tony, are we looking at the same roster going into last season? A team that's under Quin Snyder for the first time, kind of, and trying to find some sense of identity? Or are you with Gary? Are you feeling like a lot of the same vibes you got from him last season?
Yeah, right now, currently, you would have to think they would be around playing in the playing game. Talent-wise, they're okay, but they have some leaks. They're going to rely on a bunch of young guys to step up. Jalen Johnson and AJ Griffin. And the East is just tough now. So, yeah, I do think Quin Snyder improves the system, maybe makes the offense a little better, but as in wins and playoffs, they're around the same right now. But there's some rumors in the streets. So
yeah, and before we get on them rumors, part of the decision in letting Collins go is to open up minutes for AJ Griffin. And I know you're a big fan of AJ Griffin. Do you think he's going to be able to? He only has to increase his game slightly for them to absorb some of the points lost from Collins, because from what I look at, another guy that they got late in the season was Sadiq Bey, who I'm a flat out fan of. I think the dude can score the ball, and when you have 2 guys like Murray and Trae Young looking for you, as long as you're willing to shoot, and he has a chance to really. I think between him and Griffin can make up the difference of Collins moving on. But Gary, this is what I want to know from you about this whole conversation. I know you would mention the rumblings of the trade. Is a trade in the works for Atlanta, or we just can't accept them being an 8 through 10 seed, right? In my opinion, you can't just accept that when you have the opportunity to improve. The rumblings have been that DeAndre Hunter deleted a lot of his Instagram stuff. Do you think there's a move significant enough for them to make that would significantly say, okay, this team could crack the top 5 or 6?
The rumors are starting to rumble about them possibly getting into the Siakam conversations. But there's also, Siakam with Indiana. And depending on what they want to give up, Yeah, I'm with you there, Forrest. They are a little bit in neutral at the moment. They're kind of stuck. But, that's the whole thing. They got to figure if they don't go after another star, like Forrest said right there in the comments, you're basically stuck in neutral. Like, they're the same team. They have to go get something to put them over the top. And I think a trade like Siakam, because that's a position they really need. They got to fill in a big man, whether it's power forward, because they're pretty good at center with Capella. But having to use AJ Griffin or Jalen Johnson for 25, 30 minutes a night, I think that leaves a big gap in your lineup. So I think that they need to get another big player like Siakam to fill in. And I think that'll put them possibly in the top 6.
Do you think so? I do agree with you. If you have to significantly rely on them guys to give you the minutes, like I think Griffin might be able to have some really strong 25-minute nights. But like you were saying, I totally agree with you. If you have to significantly depend on that, you are going to struggle in games. Tony, Gary says, and so did Forrest, that they think Atlanta might be stuck in neutral. See, let me ask you a question. You have two guys like Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. You're ready to rock, right? At the guard position. Like, I feel like they do have these assets to make a significant move. Like, do you think that they're going to do it? Or do you think that they're just going to build some of their draft picks and maybe wait a season before they do anything drastic? I just feel like now's the time to pull the trigger if I'm Atlanta, like to put it with these two guards. I love Gary. I love what Gary said, bringing in a guy like Siakam. But I think there's other guys that are gettable for them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're ultimately going to cave and trade for Siakam. Just because they fired their GM, they basically let the owner's son take over, and they're just it's their own little fantasy team. They're just rich guys running a basketball team. So like they're just going to try to get Siakam because they're going to want the most wins every year. And as long as they're winning, they're making money. So they'd rather just be the 5th seed than try to actually win the championship. So yeah, if they get Siakam, they definitely can get way better in the regular season. Win the East? I don't think so. So
I have a weird feeling though. The DeAndre Hunter thing the Instagram thing kind of turned the switch for me, deleted everything. I think they're going to I think they make a massive move between what's the backup center? Onakwu? Am I saying that right? Okongwu. I think if they could take somehow flip a Capella Hunter deal for one or two guys. I like DeAndre Ayton. I don't know if he's the right guy. I don't know if there could be like a 3-team deal, but I think that they're honestly in a place where they are going to make a huge splash. Do they have Jarrett Culver on their roster still?
No, I don't think so. Nah.
Yeah, because he's popping up here on the list for 10 games last year. Especially since this offseason, Pascal Siakam will be a huge addition for the Hawks. I think we are in unanimous support of that. I think he would really bring out the true balance and potential from the guard position. And I talk about this all the time with you, Tony. I said that I like the guard forward being more balanced as opposed to just relying on one part of your offense. You know what I'm saying? Is there anybody that they drafted that stands out to you, or have you not seen enough of them?
No, I like Kobe Buffkin. He's got talent. He went to Michigan really, really at a young age. Like he might have skipped the senior year. I don't know. He was either that or just a really young freshman. Struggled his freshman year. Then this year he started slow, but towards the end of the year he was putting up solid numbers with, points, rebounds, assists. He could create a lot. But the thing is, he's definitely super raw. So like I don't really see him being a huge impact for them immediately. And then their other pick, Muhammad Gay, 39th pick. He's super athletic. He can stretch. I think he has some upside, but I don't see
What's up, buddy?
huge minutes out of him either. But long term, very good pick.
Hey, Gary, is there anything you've seen from the draft? Because I've been sitting here brainstorming guys who I would love to see Atlanta would make a move for, and I came up with one, and I cannot wait to drop the bomb because I'm curious your thought. But is there anything that you've seen from the draft? I mean, I don't. That's not my forte.
I mean, they got like he said the two guys they drafted so far. Muhammad Guy has played. They've only played a couple games in the summer league. He's actually played pretty decent. He hasn't done bad at all. He's been productive. Only have about 1 or 2 turnovers a game. I think he's getting around 10 points, 8 rebounds a game. Where their first round pick, like Tony said, is more of a project. He's probably going to spend time in the G League. Not going to play in the NBA right away. He's got to get his feet wet. It's a different game than college. He was good for Michigan. I'm pretty sure that's where he played, Michigan, last year, and he was important for their team. But he'll adjust. They're guard heavy already as a team, so he's not going to get any minutes to develop in the NBA. If anything, he may end up being a trade asset in possibly whoever you're talking about, them getting.
All right, so I'm trying to think of, obviously if they make a trade, it's going to be for a big. Very far in between, I've heard a name mentioned of possible trade rumors. Let me ask you, Carl Anthony Towns. I know you're a big Ant Edwards guy, and I think Minnesota is pointing in the direction of give the team to this dude. In order to do that, you have to get rid of the guy you gave the team to before. With Carl Anthony Towns had a weird season for me. He was like, sometimes I feel like I was watching a different guy every night. How would you feel about, I mean, for them to make a possible offer of, say, DeAndre Hunter and Bogdanovich, I think the salaries are close enough where Atlanta might be able to absorb whatever's left of the deal. But how about a guy like that who could stretch the floor for them at the 4? They can run Bay at the 3. Am I reaching there?
I like the idea of it. I just honestly think Minnesota is gonna give another year of Cat for sure to see if it works out, because they had their growing pains, but once they brought in Mike Conley, they were much better. So why just say we failed after one season?
Yeah, I do agree with that. Is there anybody that could possibly be a radar piece for them to improve? Like, I just feel like I can't accept this team going into the season with the same level. I don't think for one game last season they were more than a game over 500, right? They were within one game of 500. Back and forth all year. And to me, that should be concerning when you're unable to put together anything relative to a winning streak. Like, you got teams like Orlando, you got teams like Detroit, and you got some of the, who am I forgetting? There's another bottom team in the East. I'm forgetting. They're improving at a rapid. The Wizards. They're improving. I'm dying. And a team like Atlanta can't afford to just fall by the wayside. And I feel like if they don't make a move, then I don't know. I'm sad because I think Trae Young is a total baller. That's my dude. I stick by him. I know he gets heat. But you tell me a guy that just Towns been healthy, be really effective, but he missed a lot of time last year. Yeah, I get that. You never make a trade for a guy based on is he going to be hurt or not. I mean, you base it off of how you think he's going to fit. Me personally would love that combination, but I want to run by some numbers with you guys. Trae Young, high usage with the ball in his hand. Man, Trae Young is overrated. I'm. Oh man. Oh man, he threw me off. He said Trae Young is overrated. This man, this is where I get heated, guys. I'm trying. My microphone was broke before the show, and I knew once I started talking about Trae Young, I was going to get these comments. Am I the only guy here that is helping Trae Young paddle the Trae Young boat, or am I by myself? I know. Come on, Gary. Tell me a little bit about Trae Young.
I mean, I think Trae Young's good. I don't think he's as great as you think he does, or he is. You know, I don't think we agree on that. But I mean, I think he's really good.
Cold-blooded, took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals in his third season, maybe his second. Went into New York, beat them. Went into Philadelphia, beat them on the road. I believe the dude is an absolute baller. He's not afraid to take the big shot. He's very unselfish with the ball. He's been in the top 3 in assists in legitimately every single season he's been in the league where he's played starter minutes. I mean, he's playing 70 some games a year. It kills me. Like, we watched Kobe Bryant absorb the villain mentality when he became the Mamba, and I feel like Trae Young is an exact fucking replica in terms of mentality. I mean, he's 24. He might look 7, but the dude's only 24, bro. Remember, Mamba didn't become Mamba at 24. He had Shaq, bro. This dude ain't got Shaq. This dude, I know you smirk when I say it, Gary, but come on, man. Like, when can we, let's embrace this dude's talent. He really does play ball at a high level. Big games.
Yeah, no, I agree. He does have big games. But, I mean, at the same time, he thinks he's like the world's greatest three-point shooter. He shoots 33% from 3. And when you're shooting, that confident has got him 41 and 41 last year. Confident has got him nothing but downhill since the year they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. He's got DeJounte Murray now, which is more talent, and they've gotten worse. He turns the ball over a little too much, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
He doesn't play the greatest defense.
I agree with that.
So to me, yes, he does get a bunch of assists, but at the same time, there's a lot of good guards that score 25 points and turn the ball over four times a game, 5 times a game. So I'm not going to go crown him as a top 3, top 5 point guard in the NBA right now. Maybe top 5, back end of the top 5, but
back end top 5. But I think
he's good.
Who went to the finals in the East last year? Miami, right?
Yeah.
Who beat Miami? Who beat Miami in Miami to get into the 7th seed?
Good for them. What happened the next night?
I'll wait.
This isn't college basketball.
One thing about Trae Young, I'll say,
for more than a day.
The one thing I'll say is he's clutch.
Clutch.
Yeah, big, huge shot maker, and that you don't really see. He's rare in that category.
Yeah, no, he's
the biggest of games.
Yeah, he's not scared to take the big shot.
I love him, bro. I just think we get to a level where we just expect dudes to be great out of the gate. Like, he's 24. Like, you know, in his first 4 seasons, he went to the Western Conference Finals. He's been to the playoffs. Like, there's growing pains too, and to an extent. Do I agree with a lot of his flaws? Absolutely. But, like, every single player had flaws when they came into the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, LeBron wasn't a great jump shooter when he came in. Didn't stop him from becoming great. See, I just think that a guy like Trae Young, he plays the villain, so if he ain't doing what he says he can do, people want to jump on him for it because of how toxic or how we cover this league anymore. And I just want to I just want to see the best players playing the biggest games, and I think Trae Young is one of them guys. If he ain't there yet, you have to start, like, not you, people in general, need to just start watching this dude play in these big-time fucking games. I can't wait to see him in the play-in tournament, in the in-season tournament. This dude is going to be feasting. I know his mentality, bro. I do. I don't know. And I'm probably just a fanboy. A lot of people will probably just consider me a fanboy, but I'm super high on him. Now, I want to pivot from him though, because Garrett had mentioned DeJounte Murray, and when they got him, everybody had concerns that they were a weird fit. But now they played a season together, and we've seen a good sample size of them playing side by side. Do you think having two point guards, they both are point guards, do you think that it might work against one of their gross, being that their usage is a little bit down than Pop? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying with that. Like, I think DeJounte can more just learn how to be a two guard, if they're going to stick together long term, and that's the plan, because Trae's too small. Yeah, he can shoot a lot, but he's obviously a good distributor. DeJounte is bigger, quite a bit bigger, so he shoots the ball well too. He's a pretty good 3-point shooter. He actually had a higher 3-point percentage last year than Trae. So, I mean, only by 1 or 2%. But they can help each other. It keeps teams on their toes. Those two can feed off of each other, play back and forth. Both can control the ball coming down. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think it'll stop their growth. I think, if anything, it'll make them better players, because they're going to have to learn how to play off ball and on ball, and not necessarily just be in control all the time.
Absolutely. Tony, I'm going to pivot around this roster a little bit. And another guy who didn't play up to his full potential last year was Bogdanovich. Surprisingly, they re-signed him, and he got paid pretty tough. They backed off a Brinks truck to him, in my opinion. Do you have to expect more from him this year, right? He's going to play some small.
He's been dealing with he's been dealing with some knee issues, and he got surgery, and it's just been like a long rehab. So they're just banking on him being that he was hurt. And he started to get a little better. You could definitely see improvements. So, yeah, they're expecting him to have a way bigger season. They're thinking 16 points per game plus out of him.
Yeah, he's a guy I think just needs – he's a microwave on offense, so he's a guy I just think needs volume shooting kind of. And I don't know if it's going to be there. I don't know if he could be mentioned in some trade conversation, but they're going to need more from him this year. Gary, I want to touch on something real quick, just to pivot back to a Trae Young conversation. Trae Young averages 25.5 points per game in his first 5 seasons. Allen Iverson, hold up one second. Allen Iverson averaged 26 points a game. Trae Young averaged 4 more assists per game, a half a rebound more, 1 steal less. He shoots the ball better from the field and from 3. Now, I'm not trying to say people will lose their shit if I tell them Trae Young is better than Allen Iverson. What I am here to say is Trae Young is projected to have the same type of career as Allen Iverson, but he might become a better shooter. He's a way better passer, way better. He's going to be a way better 3-point shooter when it's said and done. So if Trae Young doesn't win shit for his entire career, he could be mentioned right next to a guy named Allen Iverson, who people literally watch whilst on their knees. So I know we just did a huge – sorry to rant for a second. We just did a huge thing on our Facebook. It was our most – by far our best series that we've ever run. Josh, our behind the scenes – Yeah, hold up. Josh on our Facebook put out this great Nikola Jokic comparison after he won a championship of their first 8 years as against other NBA legends. Now, if you take a guy like Trae Young and put him up with Allen Iverson, Tony, am I crazy to say that? Am I just trying to get clicks when I say don't bash a guy like Trae Young for his production if you're not going to bash a dude like an Allen Iverson to start his career? People just thought he was the greatest thing of all time. Dude, Trae Young's putting up comparable numbers, so why are we so quick to bash this guy, man? It's so frustrating.
Yeah, and Trey's won so much for someone his age. That's the real impressive part. Like, he wins big games, and that's like what everyone always talks about. People winning. Yes, he hasn't won any championships, but he's had some iconic moments for this guy, and he I don't know if he's reached the ceiling yet. We'll see. He's got a lot better, and the mindset of the team did change, even though the record didn't with Quin Snyder. They're really thinking that as a team, like, they're going to be a much better this year. At least the guys are bought in that they can win.
That's half the battle. So we'll see. I didn't mean to bounce back on the Trae Young rant, but it was just something that I literally wanted to pop up on my screen. Before we end the show, we're pushing up on 35 minutes here. I want to touch a little bit on Saddiq Bey. He was a guy like I had mentioned previously that I was excited that they went out and got him. Do you see, obviously, with no John Collins, his role increases more? Is that a positive or a negative for Atlanta?
I mean, I think it's a good thing. He's a really good, young, small forward, power forward type of player. He can shoot the ball well from the outside, really good defender. He's pretty long, That's what they need. They need defense on that team. They got a lot of people that can score. They need people who can play defense. And yeah, Josh, you never know, man. They might be trading DeAndre Hunter by the looks of it, the way he deleted everything off of social media and all that nonsense they got going on with that. But we'll see with that. I like Saddiq Bey, though. I think he's a great fit to step in and fill in for them. So hopefully he does get the minutes, and that's who they do roll with. I think he's perfect for that team and their needs.
It's funny, though. Right before you said that, you said the Hawks need defense. DeAndre Hunter is defense for them. So for them to trade him, you got to expect some sense. I mean, if it's for a guy like Siakam's caliber, like the rumors are swirling, then yeah, then you got to do it. But you move a guy like Hunter on a team that already struggles defensively, that's another hole to fill. You know what I'm saying? So I think, Josh, when you talk about moving Hunter, that has to be a huge deciding factor for Atlanta because, Capella does his thing down in the paint, but, there's a little bit of Trae Young's letting dudes, carve him up a little bit, get into the paint. You might need a little more help on the back end. Tony, anything else you want to touch on with Atlanta and going into this season? I do want to talk about like a win total thing, but go ahead.
No, the one thing I was going to say, yeah, I agree. If they trade DeAndre Hunter, it's going to be for a player of Siakam or better than that. They like DeAndre Hunter. They only want to get rid of him to upgrade. They think he's a good player. There's nothing against that, but Siakam is just significantly better. So, and I don't know, I just feel like their new front office is very buy heavy. They want to win. They want everything to happen fast. They might be like the East Coast Clippers, where they try to do everything to improve and just buy. Don't try to build through the draft anymore and become one of those teams.
Yeah, it all becomes hard because now they're stuck in that. We talk about this with other teams. They're stuck in that that purgatory where you're between a 6 and a 12 seed, and you're constantly picking like the Washington Wizards over the last 15 seasons, where you're just picking carry. You know what I'm talking about. I ain't throwing shade. Well, I'm throwing a little bit of shade, but you know what it's like. I'll give myself the finger. I know you're thinking. That's kind of so. It like I'm kind of bouncing off what Tony's saying. You kind of have to build in that direction because you can't just keep picking 13th and thinking you're going to get a guy. I mean, you're playing the lottery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially if you're committed to Murray long term. You've decided to trade Collins. So you somewhat got to pick your direction. You know, you have these guys long terms. Your window's only so long. You know, you got the cap exception now for Collins. Trade a couple of young guys, add another star, and go for it. You know, Capella's got the defensive side. You need a big that can score. You got the
Julius Randle, no.
I think Julius Randle would put them above the Knicks. It would put them past the Knicks, maybe
Just
above
a weird
Cleveland.
name.
Could happen.
I think Randle. You never know. He looked like he didn't necessarily care to be in New York.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him come playoff time. He was dealing. I think he came back from injury a little bit sooner than expected, but he's a guy that I know has been kind of floated out there. I'm not trying to limit the scope of just Siakam because Tony is right. For them to move a guy like DeAndre, see, when I heard DeAndre Hunter's name, I was like, wow, they're going to want like an OG and New Boy package, but like they're going to want a lot. And I'm just like, who's going to really offer it to them? I don't know. That's going to be significant enough to improve their roster. So they're in a weird – that's why I think it's got to be like a 2-for-1 type of deal, like Capella on the move and Hunter or something along. I think if Atlanta makes a move, it's going to be a big-time move, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think
feel
Tony is
Capella
right.
And Hunter would be too much for.
So the Raptors wanted like Hunter and Griffin, so like that and picks. So that's where they were like stalemate. They're like, you're asking a little much. Well, now they know Indiana's involved, so they're just asking for as much as possible right now. So if we see a trade, it will probably be in the next few days because the Raptors say, all right, this is our price. If you want it, there's another team on call, so you better hurry.
Yeah, but what's an Indiana package look like?
I don't know. Healed and picks. I don't know if the Raptors want him. If not,
I mean, they definitely don't.
They might. I mean, they're going to probably ask for Mathurin. They're probably not going to get him.
Oh, wow.
No chance. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I actually think that the Indiana would move him possibly in a Siakam deal. But
that would be. Oh, if Toronto has gotten Mathurin in a deal, that's an all-in. I think that's an all-in spot.
Yeah, which they might. I think he's from Montreal. He's from Canada.
Oh wow! So somebody just said if they trade Siakam, they should try to. I know this is Atlanta Hawks show, but it's all relevant in terms of the DeAndre Hunter trade rumors. He says if the Raptors trade Siakam, they should also trade OG. See, I see it as if they trade Siakam, I think OG and Scotty Barnes become the pieces that they try to build around them. And Podol. That they locked up Podol for 4 seasons.
The OG prices when teams call are ridiculous. They ask for a Gobert package. So, like, he's not so it's like, what? How is he ever going to get moved? They want 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, I know. That's wild, bro. But, look, we covered the Hawks, right? Let's end the show here. I thought it was a great show. Seemed to eliminate some of our connection, volume, all the troubleshooting that we try. This is our 13th team show. I guarantee our 14th is better than our 13th. So Mad Wizard, I think tomorrow night we're going to go live. I might have a scheduling conflict. We'll talk about that later. But
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate you. Mad Wizard in the house, baby.
Yes, sir. Updated my Twitter handle to the Mad Wizard Gary too, so you can follow me on there. I'll find you. I got you on Undrafted Hoops also, talking hoops all day.
My man. Tony G. Yo, just putting this out there for the public to know. If you want to play basketball, I'm going to hang 30 on you.
On who?
Let me know, bro. I'll come down there. On you.
No, I
What
mean,
do you
I'm
on who?
retired.
I will hang.
I'm retired from basketball.
Whoa. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't
No,
want to
I'm
hear
just,
that.
I'm injured. I have to get surgery first. I probably won't play.
No, like Ray Allen. Like I'm Ray Allen,
Other than
and you're Denzel.
other than shooting. Yeah, exactly. I could be Denzel for sure, and just shoot jump shots and like take it into the lane at like 2.2 speed. I'll just have to turn in them Andre Miller.
I'm trying to get an invite to the summer league, bro. I'm trying to go. Yo, bro. Peace out, my man. I appreciate you.
See ya.
Hit you with the crossover. Yeah, what a show. That was good. That was a fun one. A lot of new viewership, a lot of new subscribers. We appreciate it, dude. Facebook, Twitter, Undrafted Hoops _ YouTube. Yo, smash the subscribe button. Don't make me tell you again. Your boy JB the Chef signing out. Not without a fuck the Celtics, baby. Woo!